Alright, welcome back to my video series on volume and surface area of three-dimensional figures. This one is going to focus on cones. Okay, if you check out my cylinder video, you'll notice that I described a cylinder as a circular prism. Keeping with that, I also like to think of cones as circular pyramids, not prisms, pyramids. All right, because we are pulling up to a single point, that's what makes it a pyramid. The fact that the base is circle for a cone makes it a circular pyramid. Okay. All right, to calculate the volume of a cone, the formula is going to be 1/3 times the area of the base of the cone times the height of the cone. Okay, and since the base of the cone is going to be a circle, we're going to need the area formula for a circle, which is pi r squared. And so let's go ahead and rewrite that. We get 1/3 times pi r squared times the height of the cone. For this, we're going to need to define what r is and what h is in our shape. R is going to represent this 2 centimeters. It's going to be the length from the center of the circle at the bottom of the cone to the edge. And then 5 is going to represent the overall height of the cone. Notice how it is coming up from the center of the circle all the way to the tip of the top of the cone. Okay, so we have R equals 2, H equals 5. Now we can go back to our equation and start replacing in some values. We get 1/3 times pi times 2 squared times 5. Okay, so we're going to get 1/3 times pi times 4 times 5. And then to keep simplifying, 4 times 5 is going to be 20. And then 20 times 1/3 is going to be 20 over 3. If you need to stop the video and verify that calculation, go right ahead. You can also just do that in a calculator and see what you get. All right, the last thing is going to be to do the estimation. So we're going to take the 20 over 3 and multiply it by pi. For this series, I am estimating and using 3.14 for pi. So we're going to multiply by 3.14 in the calculator, and I get 20.93 centimeters cubed. Okay, that's calculating volume of a cone. Now we're going to look at finding the surface area of a cone. All right, the surface area formula for a cone is going to be the area of the base added to 1/2 times the circumference of the base times the slant height. Okay, so B is going to represent the area of the base. Since the base is a circle, we're going to use the area formula for circle. And the circumference, we're going to replace that with the circumference formula for a circle. So we're going to get B is going to be represented with pi r squared plus 1/2 times 2 pi r times the length of the slant height. Okay, so we're going to definitely need to be able to define R and L for this cone. Notice in this one, the red line at the bottom of the cone goes all the way through, which means that it is not the radius, it is the diameter, which means the radius is going to be half that, 9 kilometers. And 20.1, because it's coming up the edge of the cone, that's going to represent the slant height. If it was a line coming up from the bottom, it wouldn't be the slant height, it would just be the overall height. So 20.1 is going to represent L, which is what we need. Now we can go back to our formula. We can start replacing in some values. So we get pi times 9 squared plus 1/2 times 2 times pi times 9 times 20.1. 20.1. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. We'll figure it out. Okay. All right, there we go. 20.1. All right, because this is a little bit more complex, I think I might use a calculator here. 81 pi is going to be this first one. 9 squared is 81, so 81 pi. And actually, I'm looking at it, and 1/2 and 2 are going to eliminate each other. So we just need 9 times 20.1. Let me write this again, make sure it's clear. 9 times 20.1. That is going to be 180.9. So we're going to get 180.9 times pi. I can add the 81 from the other term, and I get 261.9 times pi. Now let's estimate that using 3.14 for pi. 261.9 times 3.14. We're going to get 822.366 kilometers squared. You can go ahead and round that to 2 decimal places if you want. It would be 37 if you want, but since the calculator only gave me 3 decimal places, I decided to just include all 3 rather than rounding. Okay, that's finding volume and surface area of cones. Stay tuned for the next shape.